David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another fountain pen review. Over the last 2 years or so, I have made no secret that I have been a fan of the Leonardo brand and the multitude of outstanding pens in creative materials they've been producing at a rather astounding rate. What I have for you today is a brand new release from Leonardo that I feel fits well in with many of their other recent successful releases, and that is the Momento Zero Mango. What I'm going to do today is go over the parts and features of the Mango, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for about it. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. In addition, I have a sneak peek at another brand new Leonardo model that will be reviewed in the future that I'll show you during the size comparisons. Thanks go out to the good folks at Leonardo for providing this pen for review. The pen arrives in this box. Inside, we have the actual box, and inside there is some marketing material, and then we have the pen. This is the Leonardo Momento Zero Mango. The pen comes in 3 different trim colors. There is the rhodium plated, the gold plated, and then there's the ruthenium plated. On the ruthenium, the nib is black and the rest of the trim is more of a gunmetal. The resin is a combination of mainly orange with highlights of red and yellow and even a little green, similar to a mango. So the pen is appropriately named. And the version I have with me is the ruthenium. I really like this trim. I think it looks really sharp. This pen has several pieces of acrylic, and what I mean by that is when constructing the pen, you have a piece for the blind cap, one for the barrel, there's one for the section, one for the cap, and the patterning between the parts, if it differs too much, then it can be visually jarring, and I don't find that to be the case for this pen. Even though they are separate pieces of material, I feel the patterns match up well enough that it still has a decent visual flow. Let's start by taking a look at the cap. The top of the cap comes to a rounded point. Below that, we have the clip. The clip is rather short, but size appropriate for this pen. I've always felt that wheeled clips look cool, in addition to being functional. The cap is one solid piece. It angles up until about the last ½ inch or so, where we have 3 narrow cap rings, which combine to give the looks of a larger band. There is a fairly small step down to the barrel, which is straight for about ½ inch before it tapers down to the end of the barrel, where there is another ring signifying the beginning of the blind cap. And the end of the blind cap comes to a rounded point, similar to that on the cap. On the barrel itself, it's engraved with Leonardo Officina Italia and the number of this pen. The Mango is not a limited edition, but each pen is numbered. The cap twists off in a single rotation, and underneath you will find a number 6 stainless steel nib. This nib is available in extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and a 1.1 stub. Some retailers will also have a gold nibbed option, which essentially doubles the price of this pen. And here's a look at the plastic feed. The tiered section design of this pen can be found on a number of other Leonardo pens. It's unique, and I like it. The flat portion is rather short. It angles up to the remainder of the section, and then the cap threads, which I don't find to be sharp or uncomfortable if your grip should rest on them, and then there's a medium-sized step up to the barrel. At first glance, with this short forward portion, the section might appear to be uncomfortable. Originally, I thought that my grip would be kind of forced down into that small area, but for me, the angle of the section really feels comfortable when I grip it. It's rather ergonomic for me. And the step up is far enough back that for my grip, it remains out of the way. The cap does post, and it does post securely. I don't feel that posting adds an inordinate amount of length to the pen, and with the cap being fairly light, I don't find it backweights the pen or throws off the balance. So if you enjoy posting your pens, this will work well for you. This is a Cartridge Converter pen. There is a blind cap here. When you remove it, you can access the converter. While I like that Leonardo has their own converters, the metal knob here can be a little bit slick, so twisting it from underneath the blind cap can be a little bit slippery at times. I prefer to ink up this pen by removing the barrel. I just like to get a good look at how much of a fill I'm getting here, and you can see that it's already full. And that this pen will accept standard international cartridges, but this converter is included. Leonardo converters are the type that screw in, so once they're in there, there's no risk of them coming out. I think having them screw in is a good design choice because if you are filling the converter from the blind cap, it might be easy to inadvertently pull on the converter and accidentally remove it from the section, which could potentially cause quite a mess. But having the converter screw in eliminates that probability. The cap on the threads on the cap are triple entry, meaning that there are 3 different positions in which it can engage, and I like that for one of the 3, the engraved text on the barrel will be in alignment with the clip. That's something I've found to be consistent with every Leonardo pen that I've tested, which has engraving on the barrel, and I like that attention to detail. Now, as I'm recording this, the Mango is available for pre-order for some European retailers and is priced at around $180. It hasn't yet shown up at US retailers, but like I said, I'm recording this a bit early, and by the time I'm posting this, it just might be available. I like this model. I think the colors are vibrant, and the Momento Zero size is one that works well for me. For this ruthenium version, I kind of wish the nib was more of a gunmetal to better match the trim rather than the solid black, but that's just a very small issue. I feel it still looks nice with its current color scheme, and it's well worth checking out when it becomes widely available. Okay, now it is time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample, as well as that sneak peek look at another brand new Leonardo model. Here we go with some size comparisons for the Leonardo Momento Zero Mango. I just want to give you another look at that material. It is really nice. I'm liking that a great deal. In regard to some other orange pens, here it is with a Sailor King of Pen in the Royal Tangerine. Here it is with a Diplomat Aero. And here it is with a Delta Dolce Vita Oro. And in regard to some other Leonardo pens, here it is with a Momento Zero Grande. This is a Fiore Grande. And then this is the Pura, the Momento Zero Pura model. And then also what I have is I mentioned that I had a new sneak peek to provide you, and that is of their Magico version. And I actually have 2 of them right here. We'll set this one down. This one is matte black, and it is a piston filler with a nice ink window here. I'll be reviewing these in the near future to give you a closer look, but that is the matte black version. And then there is this blue material. I'm not quite sure the name of what they're calling this blue material, but again, it has a piston as well as a nice ink window in it. And that's what those look like in comparison to the Momento Zero Mango. In regard to uncapped comparisons, this is what it looks like with the Pura. It's a little bit smaller than the Pura. Here it is with the Diplomat Aero, as well as the Momento Zero Grande. So here we go with the writing sample for the Leonardo Momento Zero and this is the Mango. This is a fine stainless steel nib, and the ink that I'm using today is a new ink release from Leonardo called Leonardo Noce Moscata, which means nutmeg in Italian. This is what the ink looks like. It's a nice brown. In comparison to some other nut inks, here is Faber-Castell's Hazelnut Brown, as well as the Seitz Kreuzschnack Chestnut Brown, which both are a little bit darker and less red than the Nutmeg. This is what the Leonardo bottles look like. They're nice 40 milliliter bottles. This one here is the purple. The one that I had received for the Nutmeg just basically had writing on it, didn't have a label on it. But this is what the bottles look like. Nice wide top and very solid bottles. And here we go with the rest of the writing sample. I will say that this fine nib performs nicely. You're not going to get a lot of line variation out of here, even if you push it. That it does lay down a nice fine line with just a fair amount of feedback to it. The ink flow is decent on here in regard to reverse writing. It is a little bit scratchy. And the ink flow is a little more limited. In regard to some fast writing, the feed keeps up just fine. So there we have the Leonardo Momento Zero Mango. I think this is a really nice addition to the Leonardo lineup and a real unique color combination that I care for a great deal. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.